a nifty little way that I used to solve these, and this is the triangle here below. You might have used another way to solve these problems, and that's fine. If you want to go back to that and use that same way, that's fine with me. But I'm going to show you this way. Hopefully it'll work, and if not, like I said, go back to the other way. But a percent is a ratio that compares a number to 100. Okay, compares a number to 100, and that should make sense because per cent, a cent is 1/100th of a dollar. So per cent means per hundred. So this is a triangle, okay, that I actually used when I taught 8th grade. What was that, 16 years ago? Okay, and this is how it goes. Is of percent. IOP. It's alphabetical, so that's an easy way to remember. Okay, is of percent. And so I'm going to show you a way that we can use that to solve some percent word problems. First thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to look at just writing numbers as percents. So it says here, express each percent as a fraction or a mixed number. So this should be pretty easy. You've been doing this for a year. Okay, 79%. How can I write that as a fraction? 79 over 100. There you go. That's it. Okay, can't reduce that, so that's your answer. What about 107%? 107%, what is that? 107 over what? Over 100. Remember, percent means per hundred. Per hundredth. It doesn't say per thousandth. I know this is bigger than 100%. Understand that. But that's why it's 107 over 100. Okay? If this said 520, you would have 520 over 100. What about this 0.5%? What is that? How do I write it as a fraction, first of all? 0.5 over 100. Now we have a little work to do. Okay, our little work that we need to do is we've got a decimal and a fraction here, and that's taboo. You can't have that. So I've got to move this decimal, and I'm going to move it one space here to the right. Here's my decimal here, and I'm going to move it one space to the right. Now notice there's nothing there, so I have to fill it in. So what do I fill it in with? A 0. Very good. And so that leaves me with 5 over 1,000. What do I do now? Reduce. What goes into both of those numbers? 5. 5 goes into 5? 5 goes into 1,000. 200. And so 1 over 200 is your answer. Questions? Ready to move on? Okay, 40% of 30 is what number? Now, how you've probably done this in the past is you've just written an equation based on that statement, and you can do that. Okay, if you remember how to do that and want to do that, that's great. I'm going to do this, though, instead, and I'm going to show you a way that I think works really well. Remember the order? What went up here? Is percent. Now, the percent needs to always be as a decimal. I forgot to say that on the first slide. So this says 40%. So where does it go? In the bottom. So I'm going to write that as 0.40. Okay? Where does 30 go? Yep, so where would that be? Bottom left. Now, based on where you've placed the numbers, it's going to tell you what operation you do. These numbers are right next to each other, so I'm going to multiply them. If I knew one on the top and one on the bottom, I would divide. So I'm either going to multiply or divide. Pretty straightforward. So I'm just going to take 30 times 0.4. That's it, and I'm done. So 30 times 0.4, what do I get? 0, 12. What's my answer? 12, because I got one decimal place here. So there you go. That's it. Let's look at another one. Nope, I didn't see it. Okay. 16 is what percent of 40? Where's the 16 go? Out. Good. Where does the 40 go? Bottom left. So what am I going to do with the 16 and the 40? Divide. Okay. So I'm going to take 16. So this is just a division problem. 16 divided by 40. So remember, from 2 days ago, I've got 16 here. I'm dividing that by 40. So basically, whatever number's on the top here goes inside. Okay? Numbers on the bottom will go outside. So notice here, 40 doesn't go into 16, right? So let's put a decimal. Let's put a 0. Does 40 go into 160? How many times? 4. And then what does that give me? It gives you 160, right? And then now, this is as a decimal. So I need to write this as a percent. So remember how we convert to a percent? We move the decimal how many places? 1, 2. That leaves you with 40%. Questions? All right, you try this one for me. 36 is what percent of 24?
We already pressed 5 of it to wall.
I know. That's okay.
Yeah,
Just
it's
keep it
kind of
until it's gonna be a 5. I don't know why it does that. It did that in the earlier class too. You what? Sometimes they can be a little temperamental. Back where? Okay, the calculus. Well, let's just this is all right, let's be finishing up. Okay. You guys got English books in your locker? English book in your locker? You don't have one? Do you have one? Okay. Alrighty, let's be finished up. Okay, I'm going to stop it. All right, 150%. Okay, so it looks here that the 150, you guys would have still been correct. Anything with the 15, you were close. You were really close. And that's what we're going to talk about. Okay, so when you divided, and I'm sure some of it was, you guys were like, there's no way it can be over 100%. Yeah, you'll learn. Okay, so it's one of those things you can expect the unexpected with me. I'm probably not always going to give you just an answer you're going to expect. Okay, so I'm going to take 36 and divide it by 24. 24 goes into 36 one time. Okay, when you subtract, you get 120. 24 goes into 120 5 times, and then that comes out even. So 1.5 is our answer, but this is as a percent. So what I need to do is move the decimal 1 place, 2 places, and I get 150%. And that should make sense because let's think about it. 24. What would 100% of 24 be? 24, right? Like if you have a 24 question quiz and you get 100%, you got 24 right. So this is more than that. This is saying you actually got like 36 right. So yeah, you're well over 100%. All right, let's look at another one. Find 10% of 95. Where does the 10% go? Bottom right, and I'm going to put it as 0.10. Where does the 95 go? Bottom left. What's your answer going to be? 9.5. Good. Because all you do is take 95 times 0.1. Not too bad. Let's look at one more. 49 is 200% of what number? Okay. Now remember what I said. Don't always expect answers to be in a certain form. Okay. 49 is 200% of what number? Hey, I'm anxious to see your answers on this one. Okay, let's try to finish things up in about the next 30 seconds, and then we'll look at the solution. Okay. All right, 24.5, nice job. Like I said, don't always expect that things are going to be a certain way. Now we're going to look at this because it looks like we were, for the most part, on the right track, okay, from some of these answers. You've got your 49 up here. 200%, but we have to write 200% as a decimal. So 200% as a decimal is 2. Why is it 2? Because you moved the decimal 1, 2. Okay. So basically, I have 49 divided by 2. You take 49 divided by 2, you get 24.5. So just some little things to look for on your homework. I kind of gave you the challenge ones on the expressions today, so that way you could kind of try and see how you would do. Let's go ahead and look at this. This is our last one. Brian answered 36 questions correctly on a 40-question test. What percent did he answer correctly? So now when you get your quizzes back from me, or when you get like any of your tests or things like that, I always put this out of this. Okay, so like your quizzes are probably going to be like 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 5 out of 5. And I have a lot of kids say, well, what percent is that? You've got to figure your own percent. Okay, so this is the same thing. We're going to figure Brian's percent. So on the test, this is what the teacher would probably write. 36 out of 40. Because that's what he got right, correct? So then now, let's think about that. This right here means divided by. I know it's a fraction bar, but whenever you see that, it means division. So basically, this problem is this. 36 divided by 40. It's a problem you did yesterday for me. Division. So 36 divided by 40 means you have 36 as your dividend. 40 is your divisor. So 40 does not go into 36, but it goes into 360. How many times does 40 go into 360? 9 times. And then I get 360, surprise, surprise. So I need to write this as a percent. So writing as a percent, 1, 2. What percent did he get? 90. Okay, so that's one of those things to file away for the future. Fraction bars are nothing more than division signs. All right, here you go. Assignment. P21, P22, 2 through 30, the evens. Okay, P21, P22, 2 through 30, the evens. Now we're going to go over your homework right now.